So, welcome to our Pathwork village, as we call it, and the miracle of coming home as we greet each other simply for being, not for any doing. As we welcome each other, just as we are, we can taste the experience of welcoming ourself as we are. This is coming home. There is grace here waiting for us simply by gathering together. Group consciousness. There is nothing to do but breathe and allow our heartbeat to pump the life force into every particle of our being. We're here to witness others as ourselves and experience the deep sense of safety and belonging that comes from realizing there are no others. That no matter how hard it is to think we're all one, it's already true. It's already here. We're here to be seen and supported for where we are on our journey and what we're feeling. Love is who we already are without our story, Byron Katie tells us. It's a chance of a lifetime to be here. Each one of us, wherever we are. The biggest human temptation is to settle for too little. We're here together to witness the only thing that is real about our journey. The step that we're taking at this moment. That's all there ever is, this precious moment. Our great spiritual task we're here to help each other with is to uncover the truth that we are safe, whole, loved, supported, nourished, and informed by the grace running through the Lifestream, carrying us along the way. And invite your eyes now to soften as we say, go inside. Begins with a direction, and we're entering a dimension already here awaiting us. Just let the breath breathe you. Feel a vaster intelligence that's always been here with you in your breath. From your very first, long ago, to your last, none of us knows when. As you hear my voice, listen to the voice of your own higher self at the center of your being. Being can only be felt, it can't be thought. Let all the thoughts go, just like that. There is a voice inside you that speaks wisdom. Be still and listen. Become nothing. Love will turn you into everything. The real self is like a pearl. Let yourself fall deep down into silence. Deeper and ever deeper. Visualize yourself now doing just that. Visualize awareness like a trap door at your feet that is jammed shut. Below it lies a treasure room. It can't be opened by force, only by willingness. Open sesame. Feel your longing to touch the next layer deeper of wonder and joy and amazement at being. The present is the place time touches eternity. Right here, right now. Only here. Only now. For just this moment, give up whatever you imagine you need to be totally fulfilled. Just give it up. It's just a thought. Just give it up and directly feel what is here. Notice now you're walking in the enchanted forest inside you, by a stream. You notice the stream calling you with its soft sounds. flashes of light. Sit down and just watch it flow. Enchanted somehow. Notice the soft moss under you. Allow the impulse to lay down on your back. See the sky overhead. Feel the earth underneath you. You notice your hand in the stream, and the water gently washing and massaging your fingers and palm. Feel a release in your hand that spreads to the rest of your body. All tension, worry, fear, anxiety, moving through your body to the hand in the water. Carried away by the stream. Feel any and all thoughts in the busy mind. Moving down through your body, through your arm, through your hand. Melting into the moving water of the stream. Feel all the emotions moving through your arm into your hand, and again, carried away by the stream. Feel the earth holding you so securely. And let it envelop you with the gentlest of strength. See the sky pouring light and warmth. And let it reach any place in you that's ever been dark and cold. You hear a voice you recognize, and it says, "I'm here with you. I'm here with you." Very slowly and taking all the time in the world, all the sweet time you want, slowly coming back. to the circle, and yet leaving a part of you here. You're ready, letting your eyes come to the screen and faces of real people. Like you, like me. Letting a breath out and a sigh if there's one close by, and feeling the feet on the floor, and the body on your seat. Wiggling your fingers, your toes, and bringing some joy to every place in between. Right? So we'll do our go round, and the way we do that, of course, is you say your name and where you are on the planet so we can picture you, and just a few things about what you're noticing right now moving in you. And anybody can begin. And just to enjoy the deliciousness of the interlude before somebody speaks. It's rich, it's real, has content, I can feel it.
Hi, I'm Iracema. I'm in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. It's very hot today, although we are in spring, in the beginning of the spring. And I feel harmony. I'm searching harmony, and I can feel it just now. Thank you.
Irasima, thank you for coming in the heat. I hope the stream was cool.
Hello, everybody. I'm Saida from Denmark, and I feel confidence right now. Very much, yeah, confident.
Beautiful, Saida. I'll have some of that. Thank you. That's what we do here, share energy. Anybody want some of that, just put your antenna up and drink it in, yeah. Oh, I felt that.
Good morning, everyone. This is Chris. I am currently in Napa, California. I'm typically in Charlottesville, Virginia, but I am now here in Napa. I'm feeling a lot of peace and appreciate your meditation, Brian. I'm in the midst of some major transitions that I would like to share a bit about later. Thank you.
Welcome as you are, Chris, and appreciate your being here so early in your morning.
Thank you. Yes, it's early. Thank you.
Well, this is Bill. Chris, I'm holding the fort here in Charlottesville. So don't worry. it'll still be here when you get back.
Mhm.
I'm feeling sort of calmly delighted to be with you all. I was on retreat last weekend, and I had one of those big expansions, and then there's a kind of a contraction. So it's like this morning is like, oh, right, I can just sort of dip back into that lovely greater energy field. So happy to be here, and I'm in.
Mhm. Glad you're here, Bill. Yeah. Expansion and contraction.
Pulsation of consciousness.
Mhm. Beautiful. Mhm.
Good morning. I came with, a lot of thoughts about, oh, what will I say? And then throughout the meditation, I just felt a deep silence and stillness.
Mhm. So glad you're here, Esther. Welcome.
Well, I'll go. I'm Dan. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm feeling a little contracted this morning. And I noticed through the meditation that it's kind of like that feeling you get when you in a dream and you're coming out of waking up. It's kind of a little bit of a struggle.
Mhm. Mhm. Welcome, Dan. We got you. We're here with you, just as you are.
I'll go. Good morning, everybody. I'm Alex. I live in the Shenandoah Valley, just across from Charlottesville. It's been a while. It's been a wild year for me. So today I'm feeling, wow, I think I finally caught up with myself. I've had a week shut in with COVID, so that gives you a chance to catch up with yourself. And I'm a little bit out of it, but I remember in the meditation hearing something about moss, and that sent me into, just a delicious energy. And I'm just glad to be here and good to see everybody.
Welcome, Alex. Glad you're here.
Hi everyone, I'm Eden. This is Sasha. We're in Rome. Lovely to see you. I feel like I'm in the ocean. The feeling. Lots of colorful fish swimming around.
Mhm.
Yeah. Can you
Beautiful, Ellen.
the trap door opened? I love that feeling under your feet.
Mhm.
I didn't open it; it just opened, and then I fell into the ocean. Couldn't get out, not even to go to the forest. Just...
Beautiful. Glad you're here, Ellen. And you too, Sasha. You're always welcome here.
Good morning. I'm Pam, and I do apologize. I can't turn on my video, so I can see you, but you can't see me yet. Maybe you can. I'm still in Maine, and I'm looking out at the water, and we have 22-foot tides right outside our door. I've been contemplating for a long time, since last year maybe, but especially this year and today and last night, the sacredness of water and how amazing and miraculous this whole earth, this whole nature, this being that I live with. And last night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I walked outside and looked up and saw the sparkling, amazing canopy of stars that you have to be out of New York City or something to really see them. And so I had that kind of same feeling of expansion and awe then. That doesn't mean I don't go back and forth from, uh-oh, what am I doing? How can I fix it? But I'm really wanting to stay with that feeling of sacredness. And thank you very much, Brian. I always love being here and being with all of you.
You're so welcome here, Pam, as always.
I'm Frank in Richmond, Virginia. It's been an interesting month since I've last seen you all. Liquidated my mom's house and sold it just a few days ago. Feels like a huge weight off my shoulders. And I don't know, I just feel like I need to get rid of a lot more weight. You said what would it take for, early before you began the meditation, what would it take for you to feel right about your life? Letting go of a lot more weight, I think, is how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Welcome as always, Frank.
Thank you.
Kathy, did you want to introduce yourself? You're muted. You're muted. Don't stress yourself about it. We'll just Kathy, it can wait until it pops up, and then you can speak then. And with your, there you go. All right.
Thank you. I don't know how to do this. Well, I've been watching your Sunday things for a few months, and I really related to it. And I've been having a problem being at home alone for a couple of years for different reasons. And then I had agoraphobia since I was a child, and it comes and goes, and I think it was in the house for like 2 or 3 years because I had surgeries, and it just got to where I can't get out. And this was such a lifesaver for me because I knew I needed to be with people, and I wasn't. And I know that you all are so accepting and warm. You're not rejecting. You're not looking for, faults to point out, just what I'm used to. So I just look forward to gaining a lot of strength from feeling part of part of a community, one part of a whole.
Mm-hmm.
It's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Glad you're here, Kathy. And just take a moment and let your eyes see who's here really welcoming you. There's a place for you here.
I appreciate it. I know you're all very kind and loving.
Mm.
And that's what I
Welcome. So, my name is Brian. I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And I'm excited to be here. The circle matters to me. What I get from being here with you matters to me. And I feel both my humility and also, my really wanting to surrender any sense of unworthiness so I can fully participate in, drink in the higher frequency of love that's here. And there are a few things as I shift into my other role here I want to share with you. And I feel a lot of joy in what has been asking me to turn to it and take it in at a deeper level than I ever have before. And I ask for the grace to do that here with you with as few words as possible. Yet, words are what I got. So here's what I'm swimming in right now, that this path does not ask for anything around us to change. Only the depths of our seeing. There is no limit to our life other than our existing belief system. So what we do here is help each other bring into consciousness the belief system deciding our life that is mostly unconscious. Eckhart Tolle reminds us that unhappiness arises not from the circumstances of our life, but from the conditioning of our mind. What is that? Basically, well, it's all the stories we heard early in life that we just swallowed, believed, and the way we're repeating some version of these lifelong stories to ourselves in the present. Byron Katie says that true freedom is a mind that is no longer deceived by itself. So when we say we're stressed from a situation, and we all have stressful situations, they're unavoidable. Actually, what we're stressed about is the mind wanting the situation to be different than it actually is. The mind races in a deep panic, trying to fix reality, which can't be fixed. Reality has a life of its own. So our main illusion is any thought that there are causes other than our own state of consciousness for our distress. Our pain isn't optional. It's a fact of life on the physical level, mental level, emotional level, even the spiritual level. But our suffering is completely optional. We understand this in a new way these days. For thousands of years, human pain was seen as punishment. What did you do wrong? Why is God punishing you? Now we are beginning to understand that pain is a gateway, that it's actually sacred and holy. It has dignity. And our pain, our distress, whatever we're struggling with, is actually the very messenger to our liberation. So what's the difference between pain and suffering? Well, pain comes and goes, even if it comes back. Suffering is relentless and ongoing. Suffering is what we feel breathing down our neck. Yet when we look closely at what suffering actually is, it's the thought and belief and emotion that what's going on around us has to change for us to be free. When we change, the things around us change. You know, we hear the word enlightenment often, and it seems vague and out of reach. Yet, awakening, enlightenment, is simply being mindful of what is happening in the present moment inside of us, and bringing our soft and caring attention to it. And what is keeping us most often from this most natural experience is the struggle with our emotions and the thoughts that drive them, and vice versa. Krishnamurti tells us that thought is so cunning, so clever, it distorts everything for its own convenience. That's why it's so important to stop all our thinking when a strong emotion comes up in us. Otherwise, we just fuel the fire with our thoughts. In those moments, we need to stop everything and just simply come back to our breathing. You can have 10,000 thoughts a minute, and if you don't believe them, your heart remains at peace. Byron Katie. So what we're seeing on this path is that there are two kinds of suffering. There's the suffering we resist, which just follows us everywhere. And there's the suffering that we just turn to and face directly. And as we do, we become more free. Yet our minds are used to relate, they're familiar with relating to suffering by resisting it. And how do we do that? Blame, bitterness, anger, resentment. And this resistance is what the Buddha, as many of you know, calls the second arrow, right? The first arrow is the direct experience of pain. And the second arrow is the resistance that we grab and hang on to. In order for this to be more than just words that we can all agree have truth in them, that we can nod to really let it come in to our soul substance, really let it penetrate our own abyss of illusion, we have to really want to be free. This wanting to be free must become first before anything else. So we're seeing here that becoming awake, which, you know, sounds out of reach and like you have to do things for so many years and, you know, so forth and so on. It's really just the awareness of the skill we have already to end our own suffering. And that this awareness doesn't come from thinking. It comes from fully feeling the desire and the willingness that comes with that desire. Just to stop everything and be still. So whatever our true nature wants to share with us comes as an experience, not a thought. There's a relaxation, a letting go, putting down of a burden. So the simple form of this is what really matters is just to notice what's going on in ourselves without judgment. Just to look at it. Just to watch it and also be conscious of the fact that the mind, that it is not in service of our real self, is a slave to itself and to the emotions it's wedded to. And that, you know, we're not going to think our way to bliss, pleasure supreme, and freedom, that it's actually already here, right now, where I'm sitting, where you're sitting. And what we're doing together is just gently bringing our awareness to the fact that anything we're seeking is already here, and that we have the tool with our awareness that can identify what's going on inside of us instead of identifying with it, to be complete, to be whole. We already are underneath all this outer turmoil that the mind generates. Right? So I'm going to pause here for a moment and just see where you are. Too many words don't really help and they get in the way. Just to see, like, how is this moving in you? And especially if there's some doubt or resistance, remember your heart is here in the circle and your mind is wandering around telling you all kinds of things. What are you noticing in this dance between your longing and your thinking, right? That's really endless, right? It's going on all the time.
You've probably heard me say this before, that I think that somewhere on the other side of the world, there's a little hut, with my name on it.
Uh,
I'm supposed to go in there and experience the nothingness, someday.
right.
But what you just said made it so clear that the nothingness is accessible right here.
Yeah.
I don't have to get rid of all of my possessions, go find the hut.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not where the peace is.
That's really quite powerful, Frank. What you're sharing with us is an experience you're having here.
Yeah.
It's beyond a thought, right? Like this
Yeah.
is.
Your words were not wasted, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. Right. This is the real enigma to me, is that what Frank is touching on here, and we're so conditioned to thinking like just really being here in our own skin with our own conscious awareness, our own Buddha nature, right, is something over the rainbow we have to work so hard for. Yet it's much simpler than that. It's really seeing how there's a part of us that just is terrified of that, right? The mind. That's all it knows is busyness. Right? And don't forget the cheese at the grocery store. And you need to get that tire looked at. And, so forth and so on.
Well, you mentioned tires, Brian. So yesterday was a day of unexpected small shocks. So my wife went off to do errands, and I had my calm morning all planned. And in a few minutes, she called and said, "Oh, I hit a pothole. The tire's flat." So the whole morning became a thing of, driving out there and calling a tow truck, all the stuff you have to do. And I was just aware, like, well, this wasn't supposed to be this way. My morning was supposed to be all, I had a whole calm morning. Why are you, and I wanted to blame her. Like, you should have watched the road, or I wanted to, like, sue the county for not filling the pothole. I mean, but I was able to not, fly off into those places and just sort of work through the stuff. And, by the end of the morning, it was, oh, okay, well, I guess okay, the car's at the shop, and we made it back home and nobody's hurt. And it was just one of those little vignettes, like, yeah, my mind just will not just go with the flow. It's like,
yeah,
somebody's fault, this isn't supposed to be. And it was just sort of this little beautiful little vignette of how stuff happens and my mind just won't go with it. But it did sort of, after, as the morning wore on, I wound up going with it. So it turned out to be okay. So thanks for the tire mention.
Yeah. It was intuitive.
Yes. I would like to jump in here if I.
Sure.
And I'm too very inspired and enriched by your words, Brian. I enjoyed your vignette, Bill. I'm in the midst of what feels like a gigantic transition, and so your presence at this moment is particularly meaningful to me. I'm in Napa, California, to take care of my two grandsons, and you all have heard me speak of that before, but what's different now is that I am practically moving to Napa, and I think I will be actually helping to raise my grandsons. There's been a dramatic change that's happened very quickly in the last couple of weeks, where my month-long visit that was planned has turned into ongoing and indefinite.
Wow.
Yes. And yes, wow. And my ex-husband, with whom I've been with many, many years, and you've heard me speak some of that journey, in that we are in the process of separating, and he, just within the same few days of this happening, found a very suitable apartment outside of Charlottesville. That was a complicated journey. So it's like all of a sudden these things are coming together very quickly.
And what's this feel like?
And
I'm really interested in what you're feeling like, because I just saw your arms go up like, whoa.
oh,
Really know that you can feel it here
well,
and be witnessed for what's really happening deep down in your heart here.
I'm feeling scared and joyful at the same time.
Mhm. Yeah.
My mind, there's the details of living, you know, of getting to Target and getting all the things I need, etc. And the money I'm spending to function, and the fear of that. And then there's the feeling of being so nourished by just being a heart that's so full, because it does feel like magic is happening at the same time.
And just stay right here in that. My heart is so full. Magic is happening. I feel the hair on the back of my neck standing up. I mean, this is it. This is what our whole life brings us to. Right? It's just really something to witness here. And just notice how full the feeling is. And see if you can feel the trustworthiness of it.
That's the key.
Yeah, there's nothing you have to do here. It's already brought you here.
Trusting.
Yeah.
Trusting that it's safe.
That's right.
To rest in.
It's caring. It's inclusive of everybody and their real needs. Right?
Yeah, it's the trusting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on that precipice. I am on the precipice of the trust. There's the wariness of it and the trusting at the same time, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And remember, the distrust is just a thought. That's all it is. What you're experiencing is what's real. Right?
It's real. I can trust. That's what I keep. I can trust spirit. That's been my mantra.
Yeah, and just let's just all take a moment, each in our own lives, and soften our eyes for a moment, and just feel that own pull we each have towards magic, towards grace, beyond anything we could have cooked up ourselves. And notice any doubt and fear that inevitably creeps up, and just let the hands shake it off, right? Any fear and doubt, just shake it off. It's just a thought. Oh, there's another thought. Oh, 10 thoughts. Let it all go, right? letting a hand come over the heart and just really knowing there's a fire of wisdom that will show us everything. And right now it's asking us just to let the thoughts go. What if, but maybe, let it all go. And just in the grace of the circle, each of us feel our own yes. Yes. And we can't think our way out of the thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for that real-time experience together.
Thank you. Thank you so much for it just feels so nourishing. Thank you for seeing me and being with me. It means.
Yeah. In any way we can use our imagination to create an experience of the love that's here, we actually bring our full participation to it. So as an example, I was imagining just lying on the beach right next to the water and lying on the sand and noticing my mind starting to think about this and that, and just feeling a soft wave coming and washing over me. Like, who was it who was talking about the water earlier today, right? Like, just, you say, with that experience, there's feelings that we have that feel good. And this is really how we create reality, is by making room for the good feelings. Because most of the time we're overwhelmed by the worrisome emotions, right? So let's see, and please remind me who it was who brought up the water earlier. Like, if you
That's
remember.
me. That's me, Pam.
Yeah, I thought it was you, Pam. That's right, there in Maine. Thank you. So see who else is something moving in you here in our Inspiralling together. Really help you with a block or help you really ground some soft new reality that's unfolding in you like a little lotus blossom petal. Right?
During the second part of, down meditating, or I can't even recall like exactly when, but I became more inner with my feelings of like grief, like my dad passing, and then Frank was talking about going through the house, his mother's house, and I have that to do with my siblings, and and then my second cousin just passed away Thursday too. So there's a lot of grief or sadness, and then I'm angry too because people aren't doing things the way I want to do them, and I'm aware of that, but the anger I was also aware of, and fear, because when I feel like more a peace of mind or of heart, this I hear get her out of here, something like that. But then you said something else, like ignore that kind of a voice, and here you're welcome or you're welcome here.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I have a lot of inner things going on, but I definitely am feeling them more and letting them touch my soul. Because at the same time, I felt that at the beginning of silence, stillness, and it wasn't numbness, because before, when I was a child, I made myself more numb. So I was trying to tell the difference, what's the difference with this and numb? So it's, the feelings are still churning in there, but, they can touch this other place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What we're holding here together is, for example, when we're numb, there's something we don't want to feel. Right? Yet what we're missing out on when we don't want to feel what we don't want to feel is whatever it is that we don't want to feel, there's something underneath it that we want. Right? What we don't want to feel is simply a thought that we can't have, that we're not worthy of, that we don't know how to, that we're too wounded or whatever. Yet the fuller experience of joy and love, that being in this human body, regardless of all our struggles, is underneath that feeling that we don't want to have. It's underneath the thought that's telling us you don't want to feel that, right? So that's why the very pain is actually the messenger, right? And yet we're so conditioned to turn away from what it is that we don't want to feel, that we're sitting on the trap door wondering why we can't open it, right? Thank you, Esther. That was very helpful.
I'd like to share something. How beautiful it is, in my experience, to when we turn, as you said, Brian, to that which we are resisting, the monster, and meet it and see that it's only yourself. The experiences of love that has no opposite, right? Love that is not two, it's only one. So if I believe there is something wrong with myself or with what the circumstance, as you say, or that particular person that is disturbing me in that moment, then I'm splitting, aren't I? I'm separating from love. And I more and more recently have been really turning to that and really meeting that which I'm most afraid of. And seeing that it's something that I'm afraid of in myself, essentially. Not, as you said, and it's really, really important. That's vigilance, to really always remember, because if you forget that never the outer circumstance that is making us suffer. It is the desire to continue to be a separate, to believe, the belief basically keeps that separate self alive, which is, so it is really, thank you for reminding us that we always must look to ourselves for liberation. And that experience of the trap door opening under my feet, I didn't open it. It just opened.
Yeah.
Fall. It's like a free falling. I didn't know the ocean would be underneath, but
Mhm. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Ellen.
Hey, it's Pam. I'm just thinking I have a lot of work to do around this myself. And one of the things that I've been thinking about for a couple of years is building a house on this property, which I love. It's like I've always said, if I ever went blind, this is what I would miss the most is my kids, my husband's face, and this view that I have here. So I've been thinking about it, but every time I think about it, I get scared because my thoughts say, you're too old to do that. There's not enough time. You're not going to be able to have enough money. What if, what if, what if? So just thank you, Brian, for just reminding. I don't know if I really will do it, but it's a reminder of all of the things that my mind comes up with to stop me from doing what I really feel is more expansive, more pleasurable, more calm, all of those things. So thanks. I'm going to be working on this.
Mhm. Thank you, Pam, for being the poster child for us here. And, the thing about our thoughts is they act as if they should get an answer from us. What about this? What about that? Right? We don't have to answer them. The trap when we take on answering our thoughts is we're trying to free ourselves from the thinking through thinking, right? And our thoughts really have the upper hand. They want to pull us down to that level of engagement because you see how different the thought level is from the larger level, which is life is safe, life is trustworthy, love is here, I'm being watched out for, I'm being held, grace is with me day and night, show me the way, I'm listening. You see how different that is than the thought level. Yet, we have a natural resistance to turning to that deeper level of awareness. And that's the work. It's not to overcome the resistance. It's just to see what the specific nature of each of our own fears around surrender is. Right? Surrender is trustworthy. Resistance is not. Right? So remember that the fuel for our positive creation in life is our longing. Right? And to really turn to our longing and really feel it and allow it, and let it sing to us all the various flavors that it's holding, right? And primarily, it's I want to be free. I want to experience the joy of being a soul in a human body on a spiritual journey. I want to know that all of heaven and earth are here with me, right? I want to know the illusion that I'm alone, that I have to do it by myself. It's just that. The abyss of my illusion. That's the abyss of my illusion, my separation.
I'd like to jump in here again a moment. That's beautiful, Brian. That one of the things that helped me be able to embrace the sense of magic and move towards the trust, which is work in progress. But when I got on the plane, I had been full of so much anxiety about getting this done and that done and all kinds of things. And when I got on the plane, I settled in to talking to spirit and then really sobbing as I flew across the country, letting go of different chapters of my life.
Wow.
And when I arrived, I felt so refreshed and ready. And my grandsons and my son-in-law were there, and I was ready to be present. And it was that sobbing that just really helped me ground.
Letting go.
Yes.
Beautiful, Chris. So we're going to move into an experience in a few moments, yet let's have some room here for any more sharing, especially if there's a place of doubt, skepticism in your mind. Let it speak here openly. Let it say whatever it wants to say. Right? Don't take it home with you. Don't let that mind gremlin follow you home. Right?
When you mentioned the separation, Brian, most recently, more and more I just keep coming back to how my belief in separation and my little egoic mind, as Tolle would say, and when you mention longing, it's like that gets framed as something that comes to me that I get and I keep, right? I long for love, relationship, I long for the right house, and I get it and I keep it. And it's like, it becomes a dead end. And I'm beginning to learn what service, giving actually feels like, oh, that's actually better than just getting the right relationship or getting the right place to live or getting, that has proven to be tough, but really like it's become a saving grace for me because it's become such a dead end because I've actually gotten a lot of those things that we say we want, right? And it's like, okay, well, but what what's left and what do I give? And that that's been a tough one to learn. So just wanted to share that.
Yeah, to really make that real for ourselves in our own way.
Yeah. To not be separate is to be joyful in like connecting and giving something and putting it out there. Like why does it take me so long to really get that?
Yeah. That line from the guide is coming to me here, Bill, and what you're sharing with us really, that the joy is the experience of giving and receiving being the same thing, really. Thank you, Bill.
Brian?
Saida.
Yeah, I have a question. What difference would you say there is between surrender and acceptance? I've been just wondering if there is any difference.
Well, it all depends on what meaning of those words you pick, because those words can have all kinds, they're powerful words, right? And we can look at them and see something different each time. Yet, I will suggest, just based on what you've said, is that acceptance is probably the stepping stone to surrender, right? Because the acceptance is, we're going to make a decision that whatever happens is good for us, that there's something in it for us, no matter how it looks, right? Yet surrender has the joy that embraces full-heartedly, like, you know, like that beautiful poem from ancient Japanese poetry. My storehouse having burned down, nothing obscures the bright moon, right? Like, how crazy that is to the mind, right? Like, well, wait a minute, it's way beyond acceptance. So acceptances are saying yes, and surrender is the mystical state of just completely being in that yes to life, yes to everything. Right? Yet what matters is how it lands in you, right? How it. So acceptance is opening the door, and surrender is fully moving through it. That's one way I could say it. Yet I want to make sure there was something that was moving in you that you brought in that question that may still be here.
Yeah, I think it was also what we have been talking about today in today's session about trust.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was kind of wondering and connecting it to the like accepting and surrendering and having trust in, because for me, like, acceptance is seeing what has already like happened. And then there is, like you said, the next step is being able to surrender, being open to all the possibilities and having trust in that. So that's how I have kind of connected it.
So did something just shift a little bit inside of you here in this exchange? Did you feel an opening in this transition?
I've been exploring a lot, and also self-trust, like trusting in myself, and also I mentioned in the beginning that I sometimes feel a great amount of confidence, and this is not always like this, and sometimes I just feel this I don't know if I could call it as it's like a flow of confidence, and it's all natural, all authentic.
Yeah. And
it feels really much like open and relaxed, like being in a relaxed state. Wonderful.
A soul movement, an involuntary soul movement.
Yeah.
Those are completely trustworthy. Completely. Thank you, Sayeda. Anyone else before we?
Yeah, something's coming up in me about self-preservation and separating behavior. It seems to me that there's an innate need to self-preserve or to protect oneself, and that separating behavior is actually the physical manifestation of that need.
Well, there is a basic need for self-preservation. If a saber-toothed tiger is after us, we want to climb a tree, get away from it, right?
Yeah, but we don't have any
I
say.
don't think that's what you're talking about here.
No, no. I'm
So I
talking
want
about
to,
like protecting my personal environment,
right, right,
protecting my personal boundaries,
right.
you know.
Well, again, there's a real need to set healthy boundaries and maintain them, right? Yeah, with every healthy need, there's also a shadow side, right? And self-preservation is an interesting word because when we preserve something, we keep it just like it is, right? It doesn't change after that. It's preserved, right? Yeah. So I'm drawn to that choice of words, the self-preservation. Like somehow consider like the ego mind is in here saying, I know what's good for me. And what we're considering here is letting any thought of what we imagine is good for us go. Just let it go. And to surrender to the vaster intelligence in us coming from the real self that says, it's all safe. Just keep opening up. Keep giving and receiving. Keep loving. Right? And be willing to be surprised, as Chris has demonstrated to us today, right? By the magic that is beyond anything we could cook up ourselves of what safety looks like.
Yeah, the part about it being all safe, that's a big pill to swallow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Take a moment and just sort of shift around on your seat and find a fresh spot. And let your eyes soften. All you can possibly need or desire is already yours. You need no helper to give it to you. It is yours now. Call your longing into being by imagining and feeling your longing fulfilled. Claim it. It will respond. Rise to a higher level of consciousness by taking your attention away from any imagined present limitations and let your attention turn to that which you long for and desire to be. You are born with an infinite power, against which no earthly force is of the slightest significance. Visualize yourself now as a being free from worry, anxiety, tension, fear. Visualize your intuition as a steadfast presence. Your creativity nourishing you with joy, Notice how this feels any way you will allow. Feel it like the presence it is. Like the energy current that carries it. Feel it move through your entire being. Melting any obstacle of doubt. Wall of resistance. Abyss of unworthiness. Turn to it. Be still and listen. This has been here all along. Now is the time. Here is the place. You hear a voice that you recognize. It says, I'm here with you. I've always been here with you. I will always be here with you. When you're ready, taking yourself off mute, and letting the eyes come back to fellow souls, fellow travelers here on the screen. Say a number of times, slightly different places from inside of you. I'm here with you.
I'm here with you.
I'm here with
Here
you.
with you.
Here with you.
I'm 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 here with you.
With you.
I'm really here with you.
I'm here with you.
I'm here with you.
I'm here with you.
I'm here with you.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody, for your co-creation today. You're beautiful, and I love you.